Out of all of the proposed benefits from taking vitamin K2, there's one that's got the strongest evidence and is the reason why I personally take 120 micrograms of vitamin K2. Let's dive into the data. It's named after the German word coagulation because it used to be thought that it was only involved in blood clotting. But the health benefits of vitamin K, they extend beyond just blood clotting. So while vitamin K1 is primarily found in the liver, vitamin K2 is distributed around the body, and it's crucial for activating a group of proteins called GLA proteins, which help to keep calcium in our bones, as opposed to other places where calcium shouldn't build up, such as our blood vessels. That's the theory anyway. What's important is the actual clinical studies to see what vitamin K2 does to the human body. So, do we have evidence that vitamin K2 can help keep our calcium in our bones and make our bones stronger? In 2006, a systematic review suggested that supplementation does reduce bone loss. So because of that research, vitamin K2 was used in Japan as standard of care to protect against osteoporosis. But some of those studies included in that initial analysis, they were flawed and have subsequently been retracted. Since then, two randomized controlled studies have been published. The first one in 2009, using a very high dose of 45 milligrams, combined with daily calcium and vitamin D. But over a 1-year period, there was no improvements in bone density. But that study only ran for 1 year. In 2013, a study was published that ran for 3 years, showing that healthy postmenopausal women who took 180 micrograms of the MK7 version of vitamin K2, their bone mineral density, it decreased at a slower rate compared to the placebo group. And the European Food Safety Authorities, they have accepted a claim on vitamin K's role in the maintenance of normal bone. And it's that 2013 paper which is the main reason for why I take vitamin K2 supplements. It's to help protect my bones. But remember, the other hypothesis is that vitamin K2 not only helps keep our calcium in our bones, but it also helps keep calcium away from other tissues that it shouldn't, such as our blood vessels. And we do have some initial, highly encouraging research on the positive effects that vitamin K2 has on our blood vessels and heart health. Starting with this observational, population-based study of just under 5,000 people that were followed up for 7 years. The group that had the higher dietary vitamin K2 intake, they had lower rates of heart disease and lived longer compared to the people that didn't have as much vitamin K2. Now, while that's very encouraging, this is only an observational study that can be riddled with other confounding factors. What we really need is randomized controlled studies. Starting with this one in 2015, which is a double-blind, placebo-controlled trial of healthy postmenopausal women that ran for 3 years, and they found that long-term use of the MK7 version of vitamin K2, it improved arterial stiffness. We've also got a separate 3-year study showing that there was less coronary artery calcification in the group that took vitamin K1 compared to the control, but that study was on vitamin K1. We're still waiting on the results from the Vita K trial, and they're measuring the coronary artery calcium score over a 2-year period. Overall, the initial vitamin K2 studies that we've got on blood vessel health, they're very encouraging, and I'm excited to report on the Vita K trial when those results are published. Until that trial is published though, we can't make any firm conclusions because there is controversy here. We do have an existing study of type 2 diabetic patients who have a history of cardiovascular disease. Half of them were given vitamin K2 over a period of 6 months, and there were no effects seen, but I think 6 months is too short of a time frame to see a positive effect. The other piece of controversy is that we've now got excellent research showing that vitamin K2 supplements, when paired with vitamin D, they do not slow down aortic valve calcification. So the idea that vitamin K2 supplements can prevent calcium buildup in other parts of our body is still an open question, but I'm optimistic that the Vita K trial will yield positive results. The next common reason for why some people take vitamin K2 supplements is as an anti-inflammatory. However, I think this is very unlikely. Over a 3-year period, vitamin K2 supplements did not improve markers of inflammation, such as interleukin-6, high-sensitivity CRP, or tumor necrosis factor alpha. In summary, the main reason why I take vitamin K2 is for its effects on bone health. So which form is best? Well, vitamin K2 can be divided into subtypes, namely the short-chain and long-chain versions, and it appears that the MK7 version is the most efficiently absorbed and exhibits the greatest bioavailability. The recommended daily intakes of vitamin K for males is 120 micrograms, and for females it's 90 micrograms. And there are fantastic food sources for vitamin K, including natto, spinach, kale, and broccoli. But most of that is vitamin K1. Intakes of vitamin K2 alone through the diet are generally inadequate, particularly in Western diets. So personally, I take 120 micrograms of vitamin K2 every day. I also take 1000 international units of vitamin D, which is in line with the Endocrine Society guidelines. I also take 120 milligrams of magnesium because it's tricky to reach the optimal intakes from diet alone. And I've got a video that dives deep into the magnesium research here. A massive thank you to DoNotAge.org for their $10,000 donation to my rapamycin study. They are a health research organization, and to benefit from their ingredients as well as the 10% discount code, check out the pinned comment.